Hello and welcome to SoulSurvivor 16, Christmas 2020, an important message. My name's MJ, I'm your host throughout the SoulSurvivor series. In this broadcast from the channel group Consciousness Eternal Light, the group will be discussing the pandemic and its effects upon our greatly desired Christmas celebrations. They will be talking about the actions we can take to assist those struggling with isolation and separation from loved ones, along with humanity's need for self-reflection regarding our treatment of the planet and by extension, ourselves. This is an especially heartfelt message from Eternal Light. We hope you enjoyed this broadcast.
It feels to many of you as though the world has come to a climax regarding this pandemic, for it has taken off again and many people are testing positive for this virus, and it has frightened many people, for this is the time of getting together, of celebrating Christmas time, Yule time, the time when families, friends, dear ones, and all those who are able will receive the greetings and wishes for the coming new year. And it is a sad time for many of you to realise that this occasion will not be like others where you have got together, for this year will be different. We ask that you remain calm and that the leaders amongst you, the heads of your household, the strongest of you all, look after the ones who are least able to do so, for they are in a state of shock that they cannot be with everybody and to carry on as usual with your Christmas greetings and your Christmas festivities. But alas, this is not to be one of those times. It is indeed a pandemic that is spreading, and we would like to talk to you a bit about this. This is a most unusual event in your lifetime, and there will not be many left on Earth who experienced the big pandemic at the turn of the century, for that was a massive situation where many people succumbed, and there was not the care and the thought that goes into today's pandemic by governments, by charities, by those willing and able to help others in their time of need. None of that existed, or very little existed at that time, and it was not understood what their pandemic was about. But with the advancement of science and with the advancement of knowledge, people are much more aware and informed of what it is, where it is, and what to do to keep themselves safe. Pandemics, as they have now been named, have been around on your planet for many, many, many centuries, and they are part of nature to the large part. It is something that starts in a very ordinary way, and it starts traditionally from crossing the species. Of course, now is a different time where it can easily be instigated by man. And there has been some of this, without doubt, in allowing this pandemic to go to the extent it has. And of course, with global travel, it has crossed nations with extraordinary quickness. And this is one thing that is going to be very hard for all of you to understand, that you can not travel to other countries, that you cannot travel within your own country to the extent you all enjoyed. There is many truths to be told about this pandemic, But at this moment in time, all of you must concentrate on quelling it, in not allowing it to transmit with the velocity that it is keen to do. This strain has gained momentum and it is very quick to latch on to a new host. And as such, the only way that this can be contained is for it not to readily jump from one human being to the next. It is going to change the future of the world. But for now, your concern is for one another and how you can best help each one to stay safe. And so as many of you as possible will come through when this pandemic passes, as it will. For these pandemics, as you call them, will go away eventually. And your history always shows this. But because there are so many of you on Earth at this time, and because you travel so extensively to different corners of your globe, it has the route solved. It can jump readily from one to another, and you as a race have not been quick in realizing its potential strength and determination to survive by moving from one host to the other. But the word of hope is that it will pass through your history and it will go. But this will be a most challenging time for all of you. And for that you must stay strong. And as we said, the leaders in your family, the strong ones who keep your family glued together, they must guide the rest of you to assist in quelling this most awful of viruses. For many, you will be a host to it and not even know that you are, for your genetic makeup has allowed you to be a carrier, an unwitting carrier, and you will have no evidence in your body that you are one of those. And so for the peace of mind of others and for your dedication to help your fellow man, you do need to stay put and to stop the transmission in every way that you can. And you are all very, very capable of doing this. It is perhaps a double-edged sword that in your winter months you are more confined to your homes and therefore you do not have the fresh air that the more clement months provide. You do not go out naturally in storms and in very cold weather, for it does not make your human body very comfortable. And so staying home in your homes, in your houses, is something that naturally happens in your winter weather. And these are ideal conditions for viruses and infections to transmit from one to another. And so we understand your plight. We would strongly urge you to open your windows in your houses daily, clear the air through as much as you can. Wrap up warmly while you do this, for then the fresh air will pass through and you will rejoice in it. This is crucial, for the air will stop the virus to an extent from spreading. And of course, when you enter your more softer months of spring, of summer, where many of you have your windows open and your fresh air surging through your homes, the virus cannot survive well in. It cannot jump from host to host, for the fresh air blows it away. Do this for yourselves. Stop for a moment and think, I will open those windows. I will let that air carry those germs away. And do this regularly, for this will assist. For many, you are thinking in this moment about how your world is changing. And indeed it is. It is not purely because of the pandemic, but it is for other reasons that the world is changing too. The world cannot survive with the way man has treated it. Your planet and all the living creatures, which you now know, and it has been proved scientifically to you all, are all vital to the natural train that allows you to live on this planet. It is what you refer to as the food chain, and it starts with microscopic creatures that your eye cannot see without the assistance of a microscope. But each and every one of those microscopic creatures are vital in the chain as it goes up, and as those creatures become bigger, and eventually it comes to the top of the pile, which is the human being. And as you are intellectually the superior of them all, it has always been your duty to allow everything to coexist as nature intended. But for all your intellect, you have been the most foolish of all, for you have not looked to care for the very planet you looked for your survival to. But it is not too late, and this is where you are finding changes occurring. For man has still got that ability to pull back, to allow and to encourage the re-existence of all those living creatures they have decimated the numbers of. There is still time, and it is because of this that your world is changing. It is because of this that this pandemic has had such an awful effect on so many of you. But we come to you with great hope, for we know that you can survive this, that you can go forward as a species to correct and bring back all of those creatures, those living creatures that are essential to life on this planet for you, dear ones, at the top of the chain. You have an enormous responsibility to those living creatures, to allow them their room to grow, to live, their forests where they survive, the seas where they survive, the food chain where all of these creatures need to survive. But you need them the most. You have the power to correct much of what has gone on, of the decimation of your planet. And if you wish to live on this world, this wondrous world with so much natural, glorious nature, then all of you must play your part. And it is not a part of hardship, it is a part of joy, a part that you should all take to willingly to correct the wrongdoing and the things that have caused so much damage. Do not look back in anger at what man has done. Look to your present day, to the things that you can do to put things right. Do not step too far forward into an imaginary future, for you waste your time, for you do not know what that future entails. But work to your present day. Do everything you can to clean up your planet, to assist the regrowth of jungles, of trees, that are going to be your salvation. And for many individuals, they are onto this. They are planting and planting new trees, new growth. And every one of you can assist in this. If you are physically able, plant something, even if it is in a pot on your windowsill. You can all do something, and you can all then feel good that you are assisting mankind and you're assisting your planet in going forward to a better future. And there will be so many good inventions that will come out of this time where man has had things thrown at him. And by this we mean the pandemic. And this will be the changing time in history for many of you. And do not, as we have previously said, be scared of your future, for it will be a glorious one if you will let that vision and that thought come into your heart and your soul. You are able to do this. And this pandemic has made you all stop and think. And for many, this is not a bad thing, because you realize life is not certain. And you will stop, many of you, and think more before you go forward with your arrogance that has got man to the place that it is now finding itself. Change your attitudes towards everything that will allow this planet to flourish. And you can flourish, all of you together, for man has done much to create many poor souls, many individuals who are not able to help themselves. And for many it has been done unwittingly in the face of progress, in the face of inventions and the face of work and selling to countries around the world. But all of you, as we have always said, need to look just to yourselves first. What can each and every one of you do as an individual to make this world a better place? To make love a priority on your planet. Love for all individuals. For so many do not have that in their lives, and therefore they are not participants in making it a better world. For to them, it is the saddest of all worlds that they are currently living in. You can change this for them. You can help them live the lives that they should live, to see the wondrous things that the world has to offer. And the greatest of this is love and care for each and every one of you. Make Christmas a time of thinking about this. We know your travel has been stopped. We know you are going to have to knuckle down and just this once be grounded. But use that time actively. This is your time to start thinking about what you can do that will help each and every one of you. And we know that so many of you are willing to do this. Use this time to send up thoughts of hope. Have faith that this time will pass. But use it as a time where a lesson is being sent to you, to each and every one of you, a lesson of learning that the time is now right for change. It is now essential that mankind takes a different path, a more loving and responsible path to all the living souls on this planet. Spend this crucial time creating as much happiness with what you have got and where you are at this moment. For there is so much strength in you as individual souls, and it is this special time in history that you are here to actually see and be part of the changes that are occurring. And many years from now, the individuals on the planet will look back with thanks that at this time the world stopped and had to stop and think about its actions and the consequences of what has happened for centuries. The time is now, and with this thought and with what you do for now and in the future, you will be thanked for. That is a wondrous thing to think about, to know that you are able to help your ancestors in the future to put right what has gone so wrong. It is the moment where the world will stand still for a short while, where many things will stop functioning, where people will have to look and spend that time thinking positively about where you go from here. And we know you have that ability, and we know that so many of you have that desire. It is in your hands, dear ones, and this is why the world is stopping for a short time in history to enable you to do this. Take up this challenge, and you will reap the rewards, and so will your ancestors in the future. We send love to all of you, each and every one of you, and we trust that you will do this with love and light.
Thanks for tuning in to SoulSurvivor 16. We hope you'll follow us on social media. Please feel free to visit our website at www.soulsurvivornow.com for our social links. Thanks for listening.